I'm John Francis. I'm Vice President for Research, Conservation, and Exploration at National Geographic Society, and we're at Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore.
John, why did we choose this park for a Bioblitz?
Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore is a very, very special place, and it's really a wonderful place for looking at how biological succession occurs, how different kinds of organisms evolve over the course of geologic time on a landscape. And so this place is really special because it's where the idea of succession was first identified early in the 1900s.
And can you explain more clearly what a Bioblitz is for people who are not familiar with the term?
A Bioblitz is a 24-hour all-species inventory. So you go to a place with a bunch of smart people and figure out how many species are at a location, really how much life diversity there is at a locale. So the idea is to go night and day from noon to noon and count all the species, in this case in a national park.
Now, National Geographic is sponsoring 10 Bioblitzes, 10 annual Bioblitzes in urban parks. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. The idea was to help people next to large urban centers understand biodiversity in their own backyard. So we've chosen in the last 3 years Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and Chicago to be the sites of a national park inventory. This one is within an hour's drive of downtown Chicago, and we're inviting as many as 2,000 students and another couple thousand individuals to go out on an inventory of all the species in this really precious location.
What have we learned from the first two Bioblitzes that you mentioned, Washington and Los Angeles?
Well, it's amazing. In Los Angeles, you have a national recreation area. It's a huge expanse of land right next to the Los Angeles urban area, and we were able to go into that locale, and some kids had never put their feet in the ocean. These were kids that were only 10 miles from the ocean, but because of their culture or their way of life, they just hadn't been introduced to nature along the shoreline. So just getting kids out into that community with people with trained eyes, people who are excited about nature, was a mind-opening experience, and this involved 1,400 students from around the LA community.
Was there any science that emerged from the two first Bioblitzes? Any new discoveries or things we didn't know about those parks?
I think, it depends on how you look at it, but for every kid and every person who comes to the Bioblitz, there are new discoveries. I was out on the trails at night. It was about 10 o'clock, and this desert centipede scrambled across the path, and it was 3 inches long and looked absolutely ferocious. And there happened to be next to a light trap to a research station a guy who was an expert on centipedes, and he was able to pick this thing up and put it in a jar and then talk for the next 5 minutes with a crowd of about 30 students about the excitement of this centipede. He talked about the difference between a sting and a bite. He talked about the pop you get if you actually get too close to this centipede, and he was able to bring this little aspect of the Santa Monica Mountains to life. And that was just one example of many, many discoveries that were happening every turn you took across the mountains with these experts.